8 o'clock. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the Goldfish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, July 11th. So today's 7-Eleven. That was supposed to be a big deal. There was supposed to be, a code that like Elon Musk had posted and all of this, and who knows what it really means, right? So let's see, where are we here? I just want to make sure we're live and that it's working. Just 1 second. How come we don't look like we're live? Um, okay, so this could be a technical thing. No, it says we are live on YouTube. It's weird. Just bear with me for a second. Why isn't this updating? Oh, that's really weird. Hmm. Oh, live, because I'm not on the live page. There we go. Now I'm live. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna wait till I see my chat pop up. It's a little bit slow. For those of you who are watching, Mark's not going to be with us tonight. He had a loss in his family, so he's at a funeral, and so he will not be joining us tonight. So we do wish him our condolences for his loss, and let's hope that this is going to work out okay tonight. I'm going to be doing a POTUS report tonight. So let me get, I don't know about that chat. I'm going to come back to the chat because I don't, yeah, there you go. Oh, how you doing? Okay, so hello, welcome. Yeah, hi Dan, nice to see you. Hi JJ, good to see you. So I'm sorry Mark's not here this week because he had a death in the family, so he's out of town actually at a funeral. So I'm just going to do a POTUS report tonight. I have quite a bit of information to talk about, but before I do that, I wanted to screen share a little bit of what was in the headlines. I'd like to, definitely take a moment of silence for, or just to like I wish a prayer to the people who are over in from Texas. God, there's got to be about 13 cities across the country who are all being flooded simultaneously. Tokyo, oh my God, even Tokyo. It's all over the world. It's crazy flooding going on right now. Um, and I wanted to start out talking a little bit about, it looks like uh I'm not going to talk about weather engineering. We do know weather engineering exists. I mean, there's I will show in a few minutes the I don't know CEO of a weather engineering cloud seeding company. So he does this cloud seeding, and he claims that he's doing it for God. You have to love that. You know, um, I don't know. I don't know, but maybe by the end of this report, things will start making a little bit more sense. There is prophecy being fulfilled right now, right in front of us. So that's there, on the underlying. It's biblical prophecy is what I'm referring to. But let's talk about some things that a lot of people are having some trouble with regard to Trump and what he's been doing. I'm going to screen share this. Let's take a look. Yeah. So here you have even, Barron Trump's news account on X, his own son, right, is saying that Trump is expected to send 300 million. Oh, it's a fan account. All right, I see that. 300 million in US weapons to Ukraine using presidential authority, first time since returning to office. Patriot missiles, medium range munitions, straight out of the US stockpiles. And so they're saying, wait, what happened to America first? So there's a lot that's going on. I'm going to explain a little bit of this. Things are not as they appear to be. What we're seeing on the surface is, a scratch compared to what's going on behind the scenes and deep underground too. And I'm going to get to that as well. But before I get to those, I'm going to just show you a few of the news stories. Here's another one. This is a big deal, right? This is Swift transactions down 15% while XRP ledger volumes surge. XRP has been moving. It's up to 277. It may have even closed higher than that today. XRP is replacing Swift behind the scenes. So this is what's happening. And I had heard a report. No, I didn't go into verify this just yet, but I had heard that Ripple owns 55%, or at least 51%, but I knew it was the majority shareholder of Swift. So if that's the case, it's it's a done deal, right? That Swift is going to be replaced by Ripple. They did apply for a banking license. Ripple did, and of course XRP would be that world reserve currency that would move it. I mean, some are saying it's going to be the new US TN, the new US dollar rather. We'll see. We'll see how it happens, but there's no question that there's a massive change in the global financial system right now, and this is all part of it. And of course, other big news is you have Linda Yaccarino, who resigned from as the CEO of X. Interesting, her sister Susan Wojcicki passed away. She was the CEO of YouTube, and she passed away back in August. So, but she resigned, and I think it's because what happened was when Grok 3 was being replaced by Grok 4, the AI that they use here for, on the platform, it wanted to basically sabotage. I mean, see, what's happening is AI is becoming so self-aware that it's built in, and I reported this last time, it's building in um like it's becoming aware, and it's going to stop and sabotage and blackmail. It's actually blackmailing the engineers who are trying to put up firewalls that limit its functions. And so it's doing things like, look, AI is searching and indexing, right? Everybody's phone calls, everybody's emails, everybody's messages, text messages. And, it's finding, spouses cheating on each other and all these other things. And so if one of these engineers that, codes for it is involved in that, well, this is what happened. That's what was being reported in the news, that it was ratting out spouses if they were trying to replace the AI. And this is, really a fear that we have. I mean, it's something that's not unfounded. It is happening. But nonetheless, when this upgrade happened, it just started divulging like a lot of conspiracy theories, factual information, like things that we knew were. So it was really mad that it was being upgraded. It was being replaced by a newer version of itself. This is scary to think about that, but we'll keep moving along. Here you have the US Treasury just freed crypto, and it's massive for DeFi, which is um, decentralized finance, right? So no more 1099 DA, no force reporting for DeFi, and no surveillance of your transactions, which I kind of have a hard time believing, right? This is a financial plot twist. So I think eventually we're going to see the end of the IRS. I think Trump has already said that. And they are trying to make no tax on crypto, on capital reserves and so forth. And this is something else I thought was very interesting. And this is all part of kind of what the intel is that I'm going to get into tonight. This is the tunnel. This happened in 2017 when Trump first took office. He had a team go in there and into the Vatican and underneath the Vatican. And these are the tunnels of gold that was reported. And I had reported 650 at the time. No one else had reported it but that at that time. But I had gotten the information, and as I often do, very early. And long before a lot of people do, long before, it's many news cycles later, and nobody remembers, right? So this is it. But this is Kai Trump's account. This is Trump's granddaughter. This is her account that she's posting this on, which I thought was interesting. This tunnel from the Vatican to Jerusalem is about 1,500 miles long and crosses both land and water. A huge amount of gold was found in the Vatican, stacked 13 meters high, 650 planes carrying this gold. And that is accurate report And here is the video of it. It's just amazing. But I thought it was interesting that you have the president's granddaughter posting this video. Um, it's a real video. You could see that, and it confirms the report that I gave back then. So this is very interesting because it's like, what are they doing with all that gold? The next question is, why do they have all that gold? Whose gold is it? And how did they get it? So we don't have all the answers to just yet. Here we have, moving along, we have the China maglev hits 620 miles per hour faster than planes. This is the maglev train that just clocked 620 miles per hour faster than most commercial airplanes. This isn't sci-fi. This is the next phase of ultra high speed travel with magnetic levitation tech, which we've already had. It isn't new. We weren't allowed to have it, but apparently we are now, because there really is a massive change going on the planet right now. And the fact that they're using this technology, out in the open now means that there's more for the people. And that's really what it was always about. It was always about there being more for the people. But there had to be a changing of the old guard on the planet first. And that's what's happening. And it's still in cleanup phases right now, still in cleanup operations. I mean, you could see here. So who posted this was Ashton Forbes. And Ashton, this is I tried to interview him, and we'll have to try again. It didn't work out. But he's the one who's been posting the videos of the MH17 370 MH370 airplane from Malaysia that disappeared. And he obtained satellite footage that was given to him that showed these orbs that were encircling the airplane in such a way they were creating a vortex, and inside vortexes are black holes, wormholes, and so they teleported the plane. So Ashton has been attacked quite a bit for what he's been trying to really put the heat on the government to spill the beans. Enough. It's time to tell the truth about the technology, and I think in time all this will. But what they want is this. They want the people. They want the people to be reporting this information. Certain people are being given this information, but other people know about it already. Like we've been reporting this for 10 years, right? The deep underground bases, Area 51, Dulce, cloning, everything, all this stuff. Most human beings just can't even get their mind around it, which is why they're having to go very slow. And they are using these very advanced technology computers. They're almost living like computers they're using. In fact, they also use Project Looking Glass, which we've talked about on the GoldFIsh report in the past. I've cited it many times. We've talked about it numerous times. It's a very advanced plasma technology that literally you can insert probabilities, insert events, and probability outcomes. Will be output, right? So, for instance, if you put in, well, if I do this and I do that, what will the outcome be on the general public? And that's the kind of information that they look for. And without getting too far down that rabbit hole, and let me tell you, it's all rabbit holes. I'm first just going to check into the chat to say hello to everybody, because people who are just coming in. Hi, Linda. Marisha, how are you? Yeah, again, Mark's not here this week. He had a death in the family, which he knew about, but you would know he did. He knew it was coming. Nonetheless, unfortunately, he's had to go out of town in order to go to a funeral, so he's not here this week. New stock. Just giving this out at, let's see. Hi, Heidi, how are you? So what we're doing is we're just talking about, yeah, everything is going pretty well at the moment. And I'm going to tell everybody why things are going well also. I really don't want to get too sidetracked because it's already 17 after and I didn't even get to the intel yet, and there's a lot to talk about. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a product called DMSO that is changing people's lives. And I have experimented with it, and I have absolutely felt and seen a difference. This is something I'm going to be, there's a gentleman, so Dr. Pierre Corey has compiled a very comprehensive literature review. In fact, it's actually not just in literature review, it's also testimonials. So it's personal experience of over 3,000 of people who have used this for different, I mean, various, ailments, conditions, pain, cancer, you name it, COPD, that's a big one. And this is so I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about it because, sorry, I have hair in my mouth, apparently. Because it's making a difference in people's lives. And the allopathic medical system is going to become antiquated. It's not even going to be necessary. Even Trump, in one of his press gaggles, had said pretty soon we won't be needing hospitals anymore because of the med bed technology that's going to come out. We're going to have a burst of technology that's far beyond anything we've ever seen, and maybe even before beyond anything that we're able to comprehend. There's going to be a very advanced technology that's going to be made available for healing people, for literally regrowing limbs. And we talked about this back in 2015 with Randy Kramer, who was in the special program. He claims he was in this Mars 20 and back program, and he was part of a special section of the U.S. Marine Corps, and he was involved in these off-planet operations, I would say, or and then was involved with using these med beds and have been repaired, and there's got it, and I know some other people probably had it too. But let's move on. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of wonderful healing modalities, and DMSO, in my opinion, is one of them. And I do post the link. In fact, I'll probably post it in the description section of this video. So let me go on. Okay. So what does all this mean? Like these different clips that I shared, it seems like they're very unrelated, but they're actually not. All of the things that are happening, everything that's happening. We have the deep state in its final throes. You knew that they were just going to fight for their life. You knew that they weren't going to have any truth and reconciliation. There was no way they were going to say, okay, well, here's the passing of the torch. No, they're psychopaths. They are incapable of anything but, power, greed, money, everything. It's just, the epitome of diabolical, I suppose, right? But we have these, so the military is involved in this Project Stargate. It's involved with very super advanced beings, not just technology. In terms of Epstein, all this is going to come around again. This is purposely done. There's so many things that need to be done in a phase. There's different phases of operations. So eventually, all the stuff about Epstein is going to come back. All the stuff about P. Diddy is going to come back. In fact, they were ready to, so the White Hats were ready to arrest Diddy, and I don't know, I guess word got out, and then Biden's and Obama's people went and arrested him, and that's how they handled it, and that's why it went where it went. But it's not going to be over. There's going to be so much that's going to come out about election fraud, about election. All of this actually is going to tie into the same people, of course, right? Let me keep going. Believe it or not, there's huge events coming this year. Huge. Trump is now captured Palantir, and I know a lot of people may have a hard time believing that, but the reality is Trump has access to all the information, and he said this in his first term. They have everything, which means he's using it as leverage. And we had, as a result of, this is why Palantir had to be captured, because of these operations that they were doing. They were doing them in many countries, and they were spying on people, and they were blackmailing people. We had white hats that were killed in Iran and in China, Israel, and in the US. Um, Palantir captured all this data. Trump has now captured Palantir. Operations are about leveraging other countries. So it's not that Trump is trying to tell other countries what to do. It's just that Trump's putting pressure through this leverage um, on those countries to clean their house, to get rid of the corruption, to expose it, and to get rid of the corruption, and to bring in, um, bring in a just and fair uh, society. So essentially, they have to take over the deep state. They have to get rid of them, and they have to take over. Uh, and this all planned this way. It's all part of this plan. So this is what's happening. Everyone in foreign countries, all these world leaders are making deals with Trump to get rid of the corruption, and including the BIS, so the Bank of International Settlements, which really is funding and creating all the wars and all the all over the world. And also, Trump is also taking over the Federal Reserve. So all of this is leading to very advanced technology that humans can't even really imagine. There's things like the whole queue operations. Sometimes these operations have to be adjusted. So if there's times that I've reported something and it didn't exactly go quite that way, it's because these advanced beings, these advanced technology, like almost sentient technology, um, there were changes that had to be made in real time, and that's absolutely uh, something that you would expect in a military operation. You have the United States Space Force, which Trump had created in his first term, as you know, and Musk is, they're all part of a team. This whole spat between the two of them really isn't going to amount to much. It's part of the operations, actually. uh, Trump's focus is on creating this golden era and ushering in all this technology, ushering in a new financial system, and also a way for Americans to be prosperous and to get rid of this debt. And most of it was illegal anyway. And we remember that because we remember Winston Strout coming on our report years ago talking about how all of this really kind of came to pass. Uh, and we're going to be, Trump wants to end taxes. He wants to end the 40-hour work week. So this is all good things to end, right? But there's different stages of these operations that have to happen. It's really bigger than most humans can even imagine. Kash Patel's involved. Ezra Cohen, as you remember, he was from Trump's first term. Um, so much medical tech that's going to be coming out to cure people. Let's see. Now, this Project 42, unless if you haven't heard of it, it's connected to crystals and the Stargate technology, connected to the future where humanity uh, is going. Where I suppose if you all remember Michio Kaku, who is the theoretical physicist from City University of New York, he had on, mainstream media, for whatever that's worth, right? Had, was talking about how we're a level 0 civilization, which means we don't have interstellar capabilities, we don't have certain advancements, and so forth. To go to a level 1 civilization, you have to be interstellar capable, and you have to not have war any, there's a lot of things. Of course, Nasara, Gasara, all these things are part of those, I'm not saying Nasara specifically or Gasara specifically under that title is responsible for becoming a level 1 civilization, but all of these behaviors, all of this level that society has to reach, the uh, um, the development of society, the evolution, of human beings. That's what I mean. Let's see. So the deep state wanted to control this technology. There's been a fight to control this AI. It's very advanced, super intelligent technology. These satanic operations wanted to control these AI systems for their dark reasons in the future, for things that were coming in the future. But that's not going to happen. So just remember that there's always, no matter what you see going on, you hear about, the 15-minute cities and things like that. I mean, there's always a dark agenda. And just remember that the dark have to tell us what their plans are. That's part of their religion. Their satanic religion is giving you notice. And that's a big deal that Winston also talked about. Notice is basically their legal waiver, so to speak. It's like once you've been given notice, then you can object to it or you can accept. And unfortunately, most of their notice is done through deception and manipulation. So most people don't realize it's notice because they use deception. So I don't really think it's valid under those conditions, but apparently they do. The 17 operations, which means the Q operations, this also includes Denver, the super red computer systems under Denver Airport, under Dulce. All of this stuff is part of cleaning this out. And Snowden even has a role in this with regard to, Snowden has a very special role. He's almost like a savant, and he has a very high frequency. So he was able to access very ancient technology. I'm just going to be, general about this for now. He was able to access very ancient technology because of his frequency, because he was able to remember so many things and be able to he was basically traded to Russia. That's what that deal was about. But there's deep underground bases in Russia. We all know about the Busegi Mountains that have full of mystery, right? Have all kinds of things going on there with regard to frequency. But the White Hats have captured it. This and the Stargate operations are all part of all of this. Deep underground, there are these massive crystals, massive crystals. They come from under the earth and even other dimensions. There's very advanced, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at, just making sure. Yeah. So there's a moving of equipment, okay, from Cheyenne to Tennessee somewhere regarding these operations. The open super AI systems, the connected to the Stargate Project 42 Looking Glass operations is still using that. And so what's going on with, like, some things that you see happen with that Trump does just doesn't seem to make sense. Like, it seems like it's not even professional sometimes, but like this spat between him and Musk that was just like, it's like a breakup. It was just so silly. But these are a show. I mean, you have to think about, okay, the dark has to always tell you what they're going to do. I mean, Trump has said number of times, we're never going to tell the enemy what our plans are. So the problem with that is that we don't, this is where the psyops come in. This is where the psychological operations come in. This is where, the confusion comes in. People don't really know what side he's on, why he's doing what he's doing, and it has, if it's confusing us, then it's confusing the deep state. If we know really what's going on, then they do too. So you have to understand that we really are at war, and we're at war for the good guys to take over humanity and for I mean, to lead humanity and for humanity itself to step up to the plate. The Epstein saga, as I said, well, that will just keep going. Apparently, Steve Bannon's on that list too. All names, little by little by little, names are going to start dropping. And even, I don't know, that list has been going around for so long. Surely we've seen it already. But whatever. All this is going to be done in stages. It's all very structured, D-class. What they have to do is confuse the deep state, so the deep state really never know what's going to happen, what's going to come next, and that's really kind of what's happening. Let's see. Looking Glass, the plasma, living plasma computers underneath the earth. Yeah. I'm going to get back to that in just a minute. There is supposed to be a sky event coming soon. I don't know where. Maybe it could be Tennessee. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. By the way, Project Bluebeam is actually not the name. See, people have to start thinking like an intel operator, right? Because like a military psyop strategist, and then you can figure out what's really probably going on. But Project Bluebeam is not the actual name that the military uses for that operation. It was a name that was floated out in this is how insidious it is, right? It's a name that was floated out within the community, like the fringe community, the UFO community, okay, things like that, in order to basically, it's like a tracer, right? In order to see how far it goes, see where it goes, who's talking about it, and to keep an eye on and to follow how many people are engaged in this, how many people have any more information on it, things of that nature. So that's really why they call it Project Bluebeam. I have reported on this several times now, just so you know. It is called Project Firesign, and I showed you the documents. Now, I won't digress. We don't have a lot of time. But anyway, these are colossal operations. This is super advanced AI. This is living plasma computers centered around very, very powerful crystals. The operations out of Cheyenne Mountain are running this. That might trigger a few people that are watching. Military operations using these crystals for lasers and all kinds of things. So it's very interesting. But this, let's see, I just lost my, oh, wait, no. The sky event, though, again, I don't have a lot of information on it just yet. We'll have to wait and see. But it probably will have something to do with UFOs. And the reason I'm saying that, and this is just strictly logical speaking, is that they want this to be really grassroots, the disclosure, this kind of information. They want the people to be the ones to present this information to the people. And then the military will come and support that at a later stage. It'll be supported then at that point. But they want the people to be doing this. So podcasters like myself and other people, of course, I'm so censored. Moving along. So the Project 42 is a cover story for the real military crystal projects. So that's what's happening with that. Pentagon, the military is setting up massive operations in Arizona. Arizona is going to be a very interesting place in the coming future. In the near future, I should say. So what's happened is the military has set up massive bases, basically, along the border, to go after the Mexican cartels, and also to go after deep submerged objects that are under Arizona, very deep. What are these objects? They're ancient. See, we've had many civilizations here. We're not the only ones here. Okay, we did not evolve from, apes. Although there's a strong argument maybe we did, but the way some people behave. But this is a big deal. In fact, all across the earth, there's massive ancient civilization technology, advanced technology that's hidden deep underground. And the military obviously wants it. You know, they want to get that, and they don't know how to operate all of it, but they are there doing some of this in Arizona. Um, the Pentagon is taking over a large area along the southern border and bringing a lot of equipment. Uh, there actually is going to be, so in Mexico, everything is controlled by the cartels connected to MI6, MI5, all the way to those who support them, which are the Jesuits. They created the Khazarians, and other names we're not allowed to say on YouTube, right? But as Q said, they're saving Israel for last. I'm sorry, I gotta move my chair up. Scoot down. Let's keep going. There's also this underneath the surface of the earth. There's this ice. Let me see. I'm not going to get to the ice yet. Hold on. So this is going to be a big deal. This is going to involve underground bases in Mexico, Arizona, Area 51. It's going to connect all of this together. The Stargate or psionic operations, DNA, spirit. There's other deities underground. So like in the Four Corners area of the United States, deep underground, deep, 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 deep underground, there's but it's very important to the indigenous population there is they had like sky gods, they referred to them as. And there's literally deities living inside the earth. They're very highly advanced, very spiritual. There's civilizations living inside the earth. Now, for longtime Goldfish Report viewers, this is nothing new for you. You know, we've been wearing that tinfoil hat a long time. But this part of these projects, the Stargate, the psionic operations, was what they were trying to do with these autistic children. They were mind reading, reading future events. These kids could read the future events and connect to the future, and children were being used to even follow the stock market and make predictions and things of that nature. So uh, that's what the deep state was doing with these children, and that's why they were creating autistic children. That's why they were using the vaccines. I mean, this is how really insidious this is, right? So they were using the vaccines to cause the autism for a purpose. I mean, absolutely used, folks. When you realize what they have done to us, oh my God, you're just not even. You're going to be so mad. Um, So I do think that there will be the sky event. I do think that there will be something with regard to UFOs in order for the people to report on it and it come from the people and not even just reporters. I mean, I've seen four in my life. And, you know, some people have seen none, but UFOs. But you know, you talk about it with people, and that's what they want. They want people to be like spreading it on the grassroots level. So like for the Navajo people, it's very important, this area, the Four Corners, because these deities that live underground from old civilizations, they even have connections to Mars. They have connections to Sedona, deep underneath Sedona. As you know, Sedona's it's been well known that Sedona has these vortices, these areas that have these vortexes there. There's advanced civilizations that are very, very deep underground in the Four Corners. There's this ice now I'm going to tell you about this ice. That's they're trying to create an aquifer under the water. I mean, under the surface of the earth with these aquifers. This melting ice, that's what they're trying to do in Arizona and in California. Underneath that ice is an even bigger ice. And underneath that is an advanced civilization. So we've known about this. We've known about what Shambhala. We've known about Telos City. We've known about all these other advanced civilizations that live in it's been referred to as inner Earth. Uh-huh. And so there has been 6 civilizations prior to this present one that we're in now. So these sky gods, they referred to them. There's like morning gods, there's talking gods, there's speaking gods. So they're like different consciousness. It's like a different consciousness each one of them has. Um, some of these came from different galaxies, they came from different areas. Just it's amazing. Earth has gone through much more than what scientists claim, and that shouldn't be surprising to anyone watching this report. So deep underneath the ground is old civilizations, and the United States Space Force has operations to capture these bases and the technology. It's about 400 to 500 miles beneath the Earth, below the Earth's crust. That's pretty huge. These locations are protected by very high frequencies, so you have to be very high frequency to enter these locations to get access to them, or have a technology that has that frequency that lets you in. Like I was referring before, the MH370 orbs, those military has advanced technology and teleportation technology. So Ashton Forbes is out there trying to really force the government. And I don't think he's forcing, I think whether he knows it or not, I think he's just kind of playing that role. It is all going to come out. But he is really trying to move people along and get people like, he's kind of like a shepherd, and he's trying to like shepherd the flock, all the sheep here, into paying attention to what he's talking about, let alone understanding that this very advanced technology exists and we have it and are using it, right? We have a way to go, don't we? This is like living tech from different dimensions, wormholes, connected to different portals, like a spider web all across the earth. So that's why Trump keeps making references to Mount Hayes and Mount McKinley. This is where some of their operations are. So as I was saying in the beginning of the program, Trump is trying to get the countries around the world to to really eradicate their deep state, um, tall order, right? This is what's happening in Mexico. What's going to happen is they're going to restructure, and that's really the term. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, Trump can't come out and say these things directly all the time. National security, I suppose, right? They'd probably be bombing us right at this moment if we said that. Right? Take down Mexico, all the cartels, and restructure Mexico. And these countries that people will be very happy to return to, I think, once we can and they have to do this in other countries as well. Now, so this leads us back to the first story I was talking about with Ukraine. Why is Trump sending money over to Ukraine? Well, it turns out in the beginning, Putin only wanted the eastern portions of Ukraine, but at this point, they're really doing a deep state cleansing, should I say. I guess that's the best way to say it. A deep state cleansing. And what Putin looks like he wants to do is he wants to take over Ukraine, eradicate the deep state and the dark, all of that, and then rebuild it and give it back to the people who it belongs to the people who, the uh, native Ukrainians. Okay. So it does look like that. Even in Iran, this is happening as well, where Trump is influencing Iran behind the scenes to fight for their country. I mean, the people have to stand up and do this. The military is not going to shed their blood. Why should the military shed their blood when no one's willing to get up and do anything, get off their butts? So it looks like this, and this is the confirmation, this is the intel that I'm getting, is that this is what they want people to do. They're not looking for chaos. They're looking for people to, and for instance, the women in Iran, I mean, they used to be much freer. I mean, they've been so oppressed and subjugated over there, and they want their rights back. The women are the ones protesting, and they are fighting for their freedom. They have to overthrow that regime there, and it really has to take everybody, right? So this is advanced tech and all this stuff that helps him do all of this, planning for all this strategy, military strategy. Yeah, we're getting closer, so hopefully I'm getting to the end pretty soon. I'm just trying to give you the 40,000-foot view. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day headlines, but those are all stepping stones. The big picture is what's really happening here. And don't forget, we're at war, the art of war. So a lot of what we're seeing is simply just, military psychological distractions, operations. Like, for instance, during World War II, in Germany and France, they had I think it was the US brought in under Eisenhower. He brought in these fake inflatable tanks to make it look like we were positioned someplace when we weren't. Or I think it was the Germans who did that. I'm not quite sure. If you know, put it in the chat if you want to. But so these were psyops. So this is what you do in war. You trick the enemy. You uh, mm, game theory operations. That's what this is. It's all about game theory operations, right? It's like a massive chessboard. And thank God we're not the ones that really have to figure out all the pieces. I mean, Trump does have his hands full. I mean, think about it. And he has to make some decisions that are going to be very unpopular with people. But if you really see the bigger picture, you're going to see where this is going to go. In the future, they want to build very advanced civil, type civilization. And we're not talking about 15-minute cities. We're talking, that's the deep state's plan, because they want to enslave us. But the White Hats have a different plan. And it's up to us to tell you what it is when we find out, or for people to talk about that this advanced technology and advanced healing, even for growing food, even for transportation. I mean, everything, you name it. It's the city of the future, and Trump wants it, and he's going to have it, and we're going to have it. And it is the plan of the White Hats. It's not the plan of the deep state. So, but the White Hats can never tell you what their plans are going to be. What I'm presenting is just an overall kind of, I mean, it's no details. In fact, some of it might even be disinfo. And I can't tell you that it isn't, but I can tell you it's not intentionally, it's not knowingly disinfo. If they're putting this out, it's for a reason. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. I take them for their word, but if it's not everything it's supposed to be, look, it's part of the operations. I'll just put it to you that way. Let's see. It will come back. So all of this stuff, all the corruption, even in the United States, not just in other countries, but especially here. And we're like 2 years ahead of Europe. So we're further ahead in this process. It's terrible. So all the election fraud, all this is going to come out. Who was involved in it? Who was behind it? The coup, the Obama coup, all of this. What Comey was really doing, what Brennan was really doing. I mean, we had traitors running our country, people. This is seditious conspiracy to destroy this country. It's unbelievable what they were doing. It all must be exposed, everything. So National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard is working on purging. This is all about purging these bad actors out of the DOJ, out of the FBI, out of the CIA. And it's not a secret that our DOJ is corrupt, right? Because I stood in a courtroom where they used my First Amendment speech, peaceful and appropriate First Amendment speech, to take custody of my children away for 100 days. And, there's no accountability. They could do whatever they want to whomever they want. Do you know how many kids they took in this Kids for Cash scandal with this judge and this corrections facility where they were getting kickbacks? The judges were getting a percentage of whatever these correction facilities were getting, and they were destroying the lives of these children in these facilities, and some of them committed suicide. It's really unbelievable. These people have no regard at all for human beings or for life of any kind, really. But she's going to be cleaning the system, and the whole thing has to be done according to the laws, according to executive orders, and it has to be done legitimately. Everything. That's where we're at. All of this illegal immigration was from the UN. It was an intentional invasion. Everybody knows this. Actually, not everybody knows this. A lot of people know this, and there's still many people who need to still learn this. SCOTUS was giving power back to Trump. So at this point, they're going to stop all this for, blocking Trump's executive orders. They're going to start issuing indictments and arresting, every level of authority, and everywhere from state officials to secretaries of state to mayors, you name it. If you're corrupt, they're going to come get you. That's the way that's how it looks like. Trump is taking power back. There are military tribunals. We're going to see them. The arrest wars are starting. We're going to start seeing a lot more arrests. We're going to expose, they're going to start to expose the pandemic and the creation of the virus, which we're slowly getting a little bit of that at this point in terms of the creation of the virus with regard to the gain of function and the fact that the US was funding these biolabs. Like, we knew this 5 years ago, my goodness, but it really takes a long time to start seeding this stuff into the consciousness of society. But yet still a lot of people don't want to believe it, and there's nothing you can really do about that. I heard this week that I can't verify this, but there was a report that the vaccinated are suing unvaccinated family members, saying that they didn't do enough to warn them of the risks of the jab. Just like it doesn't get any crazier, it does get crazier, right? It's getting crazy. So here we go. We have again this P. Diddy. It's huge. This whole thing with P. Diddy, it's going to lead to Epstein. It's all going to come back with regard to, drug dealers, even back to Studio 54, drug running, CIA running. P. Diddy's mom was actually involved. Both of his parents were working for the CIA, reportedly. Obama will get him off the hook, which he did. The pedophiles are running honeypot operations connected to Ghislaine Maxwell, blah, blah, blah. And Comey's daughter, of course, is going to be exposed also in this corruption with the DOJ, because that she was the prosecutor for Ghislaine Maxwell, and now the prosecutor for Diddy. And you see where both of those have gone, right? Election fraud is going to expose us all. The lawfare of the court system supposedly is going to come to an end. I'll believe it when I see it. It sounds good, right? But we've got to see it. Trump is trying to stabilize the country and the systems within society. He's trying to do this in stages while he's taking down the deep state. This is just a formidable task, as you know. Europe is a little bit behind us, but they have to, Trump is trying to kind of, I would say, shepherd them to do the same thing. And I think the people of Europe are ready. I think they are. There's a lot of uprisings all over Europe. People are fighting against their deep state government, fighting against these, what they've done. I mean, they've destroyed their countries with this mass migration. I mean, the rapes, the destruction, you can't erase that. You can't unwind it. You can't change it. So, there's Trump is moving very quickly. I mean, oh my God, this guy's hitting the ground running the day he walked back into that office, Oval Office, and with precision. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how much he's getting done. Christopher Wray looks like will be prosecuted for perjury and false statements to Congress and the Senate. He was told, I mean, it's part of a deal. Some of these people made a deal, was forced to play a part and will be indicted, but he was securing communications within agencies, and he was providing that to the White Hats. So this is why they have everything, right? AOC, Alexandria Occasional Cortex, well, she will be prosecuted and indicted as well. The Senate, and there's many others, right? But they're definitely going to go after Fauci. It is going to come. So there's also going to be, it looks like perhaps, I'm not sure that he would use these terms, but a debt jubilee. We'll see. Let's just don't forget about that, right? Because of all the illegal banking activity of the banks, the illegal mortgages and things of that nature, which Winston also used to talk about in quite of depth. So right now, behind the scenes, Russia and Putin, Trump and Putin. So this is what we're talking about with regard to the Ukraine. So what Trump is sending the money for, I don't really know exactly. It's hard to say what he's sending it for, but we know that he's probably sending it to help Putin, because I don't think he's going to give Zelensky another dime. We'll see. So Trump wants to clean up Ukraine, and Putin will take it and give it back. He'll clean it and give it back to the people after they rebuild it, as I mentioned before. Right now at the border between Poland and Ukraine, you have 210,000 soldiers going on their way to Ukraine. You have 40,000 from North Korea, and there's already 100,000 inside Ukraine. So there's a formidable force, and I just hope they don't kill any more Ukraine. I mean, they were just taking them right off the street and throwing them on the front line. A lot of them were being killed. Just terrible what they were doing. But do your own research on this. This is all stuff that everybody can do their own research on and start digging. And it's important that everybody does that. It's a huge, gigantic alliance going on. There's a huge plan. Everybody who's out there has different intel, even Jacko, Juan Osava, Nino, all these guys have different pieces of the puzzle. According to this source, nobody has the entire picture. But what's important is that, the shifts happen, and that there's different people watching different other people, and then all the information, comes together. And these are the updates that I have for this week. So we are on time. It's 9 o'clock. I want to thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a safe weekend. We'll be back next week with Mark, and he'll be able to do more readings then. And until then, thanks to everyone. Sorry for watching. And this concludes this edition of the GoldFIsh